Inkatha Freedom Party leader Mangosuthu Buthelezi is hoping to expand his voter base ahead of the May elections. The IFP has traditionally been seen as a Kwazulu-Natal-based party. Today he held a rally in Polokwane. eNCA's Moloko Moloto is following that story for us. Moloko, thank you so much for your time and for joining us. Now, we understand that the IFP leader has wrapped up his address and he's complained about the long list of political parties running this year, saying it'll confuse the elderly. What else do you have to say?
Yes, you remember that this year we will be having 48 political parties that will be contesting these elections. This means there are 19 more new political parties on the national ballot. Even in other provinces, for instance in the Western Cape and also here in Limpopo, the two provinces will be having at least 34 political parties contesting in the provinces. Gauteng is leading with 36 political parties on the ballot. Now, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi says the elderly voters are going to be confused because they will be confronted with this long ballot paper to a point where they may not even see their favorite political parties. Ironically, on the one hand, Mangosuthu Buthelezi was saying that the people should not dismiss the role that's being played by smaller political parties, saying that they do have a role to play in a democracy, essentially saying that he is a supporter of multi-party democracy. So given the fact that everybody in South Africa, for as long as they have the money, they can actually form a political party to contest in this political space. Some of them, you remember, they have been contesting the elections from as early as 1994. They never got even a single seat in parliament. If we were to stick to the IFP itself, they contested the elections in this part of the country in Limpopo. In the 2014 elections, out of 1.2 million votes that were cast, the ANC got 1.1 million of those votes. The IFP got only 1,219. So the question of whether they are important, this political party, really is one that's being raised by a lot of people. In Kwazulu-Natal, where the IFP itself has been enjoying enormous support, in fact, even post-1994, at some point, they were a governing party, but today, they are not even the official opposition parties. They are in position number 3 with just 400 and something thousand votes. Compare that to the ANC in KZN, which got 2.2 million votes. Now, that says that the IFP voter support has been going down over the years. Even in the National Assembly, they only have 10 seats. They were beaten by the new player, the EFF, who joined who contested the elections in 2014, only 8 months after they were founded. So they are not doing well if you look at the numbers.
Now, in fact, it is because of that stark reality that perhaps he was urging his members to intensify their campaigning there in Limpopo. Let's actually take a listen to what else Mangosuthu Buthelezi had to say.
I think it's irrelevant that the majority party got that amount, because the essence of democracy, is multi-party democracy. And you find that in the older democracies, in fact, smaller parties are not treated with disdain. I mean, recently a statement was made by the DA that our smaller parties should be ignored and that people should vote for them. And that is to ignore the fact that I had a friend in South Africa by the name of Helen Suzman, and she was alone in Parliament, for a very long time. But let's look where they are today. So it's amazing that a DA message, could be in that format, when in fact Helen Suzman is an example that they exist today because she stood there alone until they were able to mobilize her.
Now, Moloko, as we wrap up, can you just paint a picture in terms of what happened at that rally in Limpopo? We understand that a lot of youth was part of the audience there for the IFP.
You know, Unati, the IFP, I mean, I even attended their rally in Gauteng. Majority of the people who were there in Soweto were young people. The same here. I mean, they chose the Jack Waters Hall, which is a small hall, really, community hall that carries up to 4,000 people. In some instances, we saw when they launched their national manifesto in KZN, it was in a stadium. So clearly, they understood that they could not go for a bigger venue. Now, Liesl van der Merwe, the member of parliament and a leader of the IFP, talking to me earlier, she said that in Limpopo alone, the IFP has over 150 branches that are audited, saying that each branch has about 100 and 150 members. Now, that, if you make them calculations, will mean that the IFP in Limpopo has between 15,000 and 22,000 card-carrying members. The question, therefore, was, given the fact that there were less than 3,000 people in the hall today, where was the rest of the rank and file in this province? Because clearly this was a national, it was an important rally because the national leadership of the IFP, including the party president, had come to this place. And if you look at the fact that they do, if you look at the 7 senior leaders of the IFP, 6 of them are from Kwazulu-Natal, and that continues to perpetuate the perception that they are a regional party that continues to enjoy dominance only in Kwazulu-Natal. But the party believes that they are actually they have a national footprint. We are only going to see whether their support will decrease, remain the same, or increased after the elections in May.
All right, Moloko, thank you so much for that analysis. That was our reporter, Moloko Moloto.